but it's going to be a shame. A big slap on the face of all EPL fans who called the Serie. No, now it's going to be a big slap. Ligue 1, Farmers League. How can farmers come? You know that I think in the World Cup as
the fact that PSG
in the World Cup as well,
Aston Villa, Liverpool, and Arsenal in this encounter doesn't change the fact that Ligue 1 is still a farmers league because even in that Ligue 1, PSG is not performing as a farmers club. PSG is a shark.
Wait, calm down now.
Shark in a pond surrounded by fishes that is having his way with.
Look at the fresh Ligue 1 teams that played in the Champions League this season. Farmers League. Champions Select collect. Aston Villa, where they fight for top 4, he collect. Arsenal now will use get hope. Say yes, the last team in England prove that England is the king of football across Europe. They won't fall our hand.
Now let's get it started. Play ball!
PSG beat Arsenal in the first leg of the semi-final of the Champions League. That game happened at Emirates. First goal in the 4th minute for Dembele settled the whole score in the whole game. It was a 50-50 game after that. PSG had an upper hand in the first 25 minutes of that game, but Arsenal came in and balanced the game, but they could not find an equalizer or win that game. But PSG missed a couple of chances in the second half. Okay, if you look at that game, it was I don't know what to call it for Arsenal, but Arsenal fan might be disappointed because obviously they missed partey. They can always have to play as that DM. But that their top scorer or their super shining star, they have to drop him back to the box and they couldn't score a goal. But generally, I think it was a good game for both teams.
It was a good game, but I think Arsenal fans will be hard done by that result because they felt they should have at least walked away with a draw or at least gambled the win in this encounter. Because obviously, like we keep saying on this show, that you need to start your game early. PSG took advantage of that early goal. Unfortunately for them, in the later stages of the match, they couldn't increase their advantage. They only ended with the 1-0 win. And Arsenal, on the other hand, will feel like, one, Partey was reckless for getting that yellow card in the last encounter, and he's out for this game yesterday. They missed his presence in that midfield because, I think yesterday gave us a clearer picture of the secret behind Arsenal's defensive record this season. Is Partey be in front of those two centre backs, those two colossus we call Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. But in this encounter, with Moreno not playing in that forward position, Arsenal were not as potent up forward. Even when Martinelli created a couple of chances, a lot of run-ins, they couldn't convert them. And the only, I would say, the clear-cut chance on the night was Martinelli playing it into Donnarumma's hand. And we have to also give Donnarumma his flowers because he had about 4 saves in that game, and those 4 saves could have been goals.
Okay, now so if you look at that game generally, Arsenal obviously missed Partey, but it's not an excuse. You cannot always give an excuse when you miss player. But if you look at their bench, their bench is just. If you look at their bench was terrible. They could only make maybe a couple of changes because of injuries and suspensions.
Yeah, Godwin, I said this 2 summers ago, 2 transfer windows ago, not just this this past summer or the winter transfer window. Before now, I've been singing it, and I keep telling people the first time they went second on the table, Premier League table, you ask yourself, what's the quality of depth Arsenal has? When they finished their season second, the first time they finished second, the second season they finished second, you ask yourself again, the same question, what's the quality of depth Arsenal has? Now, this is the 3rd season they are finishing second. Now, which means every season they finish second, the quality of depth dips. They finished second the first season. The quality of depth they had at least, if you look at the Arsenal squad there, you could see at least 4 players that could come in for anybody, or 5 or so. Next season, they had quality players as well. But if you look at the bench, as the season ended, you look at last season, well, how many players can you introduce from the bench for Arsenal? Maybe 3 or 4. Before it was maybe 5 or 6. This one it was 3 or 4. In this season, look at Arsenal's bench.
Of course, it was terribly depleted because of the sales.
How many? It's the same thing. You win second, you finish second for table. First season, buy players, quality players in. You finish second for table again. Second season, buy players in. You finish second again. This is the 3rd time you're finishing second, and we're looking at Arsenal like, okay, maybe they might not still buy players because we know they trust Arteta, they trust them. They still sell again. Maybe they play 10 against 11 for league next season. Maybe they promote from agreement. So look at the quality of players on their bench. They don't have enough quality of players, and it has been a problem for the past 3 years. And every time they raise the matter, it's like they have quality players that can start and play 90 minutes. I said it before. If Partey is not available, who plays? And I said the Connects can play. I said the Connects is not a good player that could break off pressure from defensive midfield, but box to box he can break pressure. No problem that part. If you take out Saka in the side, who plays? You take out Odegaard, who plays? You take out Martinelli, who plays? You take out Kai Havertz, who plays? You take out Gabriel and Saliba. Maybe okay now they have enough there, but players you want to replace them with the Q. Okay now you have Gabriel out, Q is there. Now if you have Saliba out, you have Ben White coming to play in that position. They don't play in the fullback positions. So the problem with Arsenal is not just the starting lineup or the missing of Partey. It's been for the past 3 years they've been steadily going down in quality of players that they get in. And it's been a problem, but people don't look at it. They look at Arteta as someone who is stubborn or perhaps trying to think out his tactics. But he's trying to work with what he has.
Okay, if you look at that game in general yesterday, I think Enrique, the way his midfield three are always, I won't call them strong midfielder, but they are technical sound. Their techniques are, I call them technicians because the way they move the ball. Vitinha was the man of the match. Imagine, you can look at that game.
He was running the show.
You might not see him, just like people always say, if you look at the Barcelona team, you look at the engine, you call Busquets, but people might not see what he introduced in a team until you move him from that team. You look at the midfield three, I think those midfield three, Navas, Ruiz, and Vitinha, both of them were fantastic on the night.
No doubt they were fantastic. You could see that even in sometimes the intelligence of a player is not what you see him do. It's the thought process behind what he does, because like they say, KDB can spot the pass even before you give him the ball. You understand me? He sees the game ahead of time. And in this encounter, you could see João Neves, just small young guy, just doing his job. Low key, no big name, no plaudits for the man, but doing the technical job of progressing the team into positions that you would not naturally get them into. I think also, if you go back and look in perspective, adding Vicha was also another solid addition to that squad. No doubt, it was a savvy move, and we've been saying it on the show that a lot of teams don't engage in the January transfer window because they think it's dicey, but managers who made those bold decisions are reaping the harvest.
Look at Aston Villa.
Aston Villa are reaping the harvest.
Some are crying.
Paris Saint-Germain reaping the harvest. Name me one person that is crying.
Some are crying now.
Who is crying? Name one
some
person.
Some are crying, some are happy. But don't. It's either way. Some are happy, some are crying.
I disagree with you, man.
If you look at this particular game, I think it's going to be hard for Arsenal to overturn it. It's possible because I can remember PSG beating losing at home to Liverpool. They came to Anfield to win, so it's possible in 50. But if you look at it in generally, I think PSG deserve to win this game because the way they played, especially in the first.
Now you're saying if by performance, PSG deserve to win because since they performed against Liverpool, but it's going to be a shame, a big slap on the face of all EPL fans who called the Serie. No, it's going to be a big slap. Ligue 1, Farmers League. How can farmers come? You know that I think in the World Cup as
the fact that PSG
in the World Cup as well,
Aston Villa, Liverpool, and Arsenal in this encounter doesn't change the fact that Ligue 1 is still a farmers league because even in that Ligue 1, PSG is not performing as a farmers club. PSG is a shark. Let's calm down. PSG is a shark in a pond surrounded by fishes that is having his way with.
Look at the fresh Ligue 1 teams that played in the Champions League this season. Lille.
How many of them?
Wait now. Lille beat Real Madrid.
Anybody can beat Real Madrid this season.
They still go after 2 weeks. Beat Atletico Madrid. Lille, Farmers League.
Yes.
Marseille, Lyon. They just, I think they narrowly, Man United narrowly escaped.
Draw, no be lost.
Man United narrowly escaped them, and the Man United of EPL. So, what are we saying? So, Farmers League, we are using Lyon as an example.
You just called Lyon, you've called Lyon and PSG. Out of 20 teams.
Now look at the team that surprised the wait. Now we are going to we're still at Farmers League now. Wait, calm down.
Out of 20 teams, you are calling just 5.
Not be where you see yourself.
Out of 20 teams, so
wait now.
How will you now put it now in parentheses in the Scottish League now where you just have Rangers and Celtic? It's still a Farmers League.
Now see, where you know Farmers League and what Farmers League is when it comes to continental football. You cannot differentiate the goat from the sheep, the crayfish from the Titus. All this you can make
Yes, and we are seeing
now,
the differentiation now. Out of all these teams that came to the Champions League, only one is in the semis.
Where did Brest finish?
Only one is in the semis.
Brest finished in the quarterfinals. Who knocked? The round of 16. Who knocked them out? PSG. They are same brother from the same farmers league because they know they are safe. You get?
They should have knocked out PSG and made a fact that they are a better league. But it's still what it is.
Now I'm just saying in this game, farmers league. Champions elect collect. Aston Villa wey dey fight for top 4, he collect. Arsenal now wey we use get hope say yes, the last team in England prove that England is the king of football across Europe. They won't fall our hand. Because look at it, how can you play against a PSG side and let's say okay fine, let's excuse you that Thomas Partey is not available. You get? If not, that goal probably might have gone in. Probably wouldn't have gone because he made the run into the box 18. They made the run out immediately, and somebody else made that run into that channel. And in your mind, will be like, oh, he's going to cross it into the far post, and somebody will tap in. But with that run from, Desire and Hakimi, you would know that the ball was not. You would think that the ball was not coming to Ousmane Dembele. With that run from Desire and Hakimi, you would think the ball was not coming to Dembele, but it came to Dembele. And he smashed it from outside the box and he got the goal. This is a player that has not scored in 4 games. You get? So I feel like PSG has done themselves a good favor coming into this game, winning and having the quality of players they needed on the bench. Look at in January they let some players go. When I say they favor some player, I know they favor some player. One of the players they let go to Juventus, Colomani, I wasted my name. After 3 games, that one shine. Now he's no longer shining. So the other coaches they cry. That's what I meant by some coaches are crying, some coaches are happy.
It concerns the coach now. You know, use players where they in team. You won't cry for her. In favor of my beg.
Dembele scored in the 4th minute of that game. He has 45 goals and assists for PSG in 45 games for PSG this season. Yeah, he is their Superman and he got that goal in general. Now, if you look at that game, now Arsenal are down with 1 goal. Next week they can go and win. They might go and be knocked out depending on how you see. But if you look at it, Partey will be in for the next round. Do you think that Arsenal have what it takes? Because Arteta after the press conference says that this is the first half. They have the second half
of course.
Now there's another 90 minutes to play in Paris and anything can happen. But if you look at this Arsenal, they don't have depth. But just look at who's on the bench. They brought in a defender for a defender.
Like if you look at the Arsenal side, you had just one area on the bench, Sterling and Zinchenko with Ben White.
And Terry.
You know, forget about the remaining
and they have this
but
Jack,
I think
Jack Henry somebody.
Arsenal, we know this is Arsenal. Arsenal sold off all the big stars. They rebuilt with young players. The question now is Arsenal at the breaking point now where for them to go on and keep winning things, they need to infuse a few quality players, albeit young quality players. But it's glaring for the blind to see that they need a 9. So with what they have going into the second leg, Partey in position, Moreno up front, Trossard on the bench, or Trossard on the left, Martinelli on the bench, however they want to kill it, they can still go there and pull off the highest of the century with a 2-goal win.
If they go into that second leg, do you think that Arsenal has what it takes and also to win that leg? It's going to be tough because PSG is a team that holds the ball. They hold the ball, they pass around very well. Even against Arsenal last night, they passed around very well. They had a couple of chances because they had
more passes than Arsenal.
Yes, they was passing. So, but if you look at Arsenal, Partey is going to be bad. Do you think that they have what it takes to actually overturn this thing?
I only think they have what it takes if they can play the mind game. The mind game is not for this guy to come and be telling me we want the fans
return leg is not what he used to do experiments.
Chill. You not tell me we have we want the fans to bring their boots.
They are not bringing fans this one now.
The boots no day because even PSG self came with their fans. Beginning of the game, you saw the PSG fans chanting and singing and jubilating before the game. So Arsenal fans were not really. If you see a Newcastle fans now or Dortmund or Liverpool, we thought say okay fine they can light the atmosphere. But Arsenal fans, bless them the door small, we on door small. I don't know how to talk. But I just feel like for me, if they're going to pack the Prince, they could do something different. If experimenting in this one doesn't work, experiment in that one. We know what your lineup would be, definitely. This coach has seen it coming from like a mile away. Now, it's up to you to know how you will tweak the setup. I'm not saying change the whole setup. or experiment with something new. Tweak it a little that the coach that is playing you're playing against does not know what is in your chessboard. It's just the way it works. For me, I feel like football is like chess. If you can change it's the same moves, moving the pawns and moving the rookies and all of those things. But if you can tweak it a little that the person sees your 5 moves ahead, and you tweak it a little that the person miscalculates his move, then fine, you have checkmate. But I feel like if Arteta can tweak the setup a little, with a little bit of instruction that is different from the regular instruction, then fine, they have what it takes to get the win.
Okay, let's see what happens next week. Arsenal lost that game at the Emirates 1-0. They have all the fights to go to France next week, Wednesday, to find a way to overturn. They have to win anyhow. Anything less than a win, they are out. They have to win 2-1, 1-0, 5-1. They have to just win this game. They cannot even afford to draw. They have to win. But in this particular game, dembele scored in the 4th minute of that game to give them that early lead. They missed a couple of chances. Ramos hit the bar and all. Martinelli missed a one-on-one chance too with their goalkeeper Donnarumma. He has been very, very good. From Liverpool, save upon save, from the penalty, from this Arsenal game, he has been one of the best goalkeepers this season. But Arsenal has a fight next week. Let's see if Arteta and his boys, guys, can probably tweak something and get a win. But everybody knows that Partey is going to start. Maybe Rice will go to his back to his number 8, and Odegaard has been off for quite some time. Especially in this game, he did not actually do anything, and Arsenal fans were crazy that they need somebody to replace him, or at least if it's not working.
Trossard can replace him.
If it's not working, you can actually remove him and put someone, because the problem with Arsenal that we talk about is depth. If somebody is not playing well, for example, the guy is not playing well, you are forced to play him almost 90 minutes because there is nobody
there's
to
no
actually
option.
You can force Trossard to play in that position.
So Trossard himself was not even playing well last night, so it's crazy. So you need quality. But I think Arsenal is missing quality there. They look at PSG, the kind of players they have to introduce a 80 million naira. Sorry, 80 million pounds player Ramos that hit the bar. So Arsenal needs them. But next week we will see what Arsenal is going to do, if they are able to overturn that 1-0 and go to France and knock out Paris next week.